So I'm going to read you a version of the Lord's Prayer in a minute. And I just have to warn you now, it may qualify as a hate crime against the English language.
I am a victim of a hate crime.
Before we get into that, I've been thinking lately that we've kind of reached a slightly odd moment in Britain where if something is sacred, we either vandalise it or we just turn it into content. I'm not entirely sure that's the signs of a healthy society.
This is fine.
And I just can't tell if it's a cultural evolution or if we've slightly misunderstood what people are actually looking for. Because I came across two stories this week whilst actually working on an entirely different video, and I thought to myself, do you know, I just have to share them with you. Because separately they're odd, but together they feel like they're pointing to the exact same problem. So, first story. Churches in the UK are now being hit by over 10 crimes a day. 10 a day. And it's not even being reported about like it's shocking. It's being reported about with the same emotional intensity of a delayed train. And I think what's strange is this isn't just the crime itself, it's just how unsurprised we seem by it, because churches aren't just buildings. They're where people get married, where people bury their parents, where generations pass through the same doors without ever actually meeting. They're continuity, and they're one of the last few places that still feel like it belongs to something older than us. And yet somehow they've just become very easy to neglect. So when did we decide that churches are so low priority? Because if there were 10 incidences a day happening at almost any other religious building, I feel like we'd be having a very different national conversation. In fact, the government has pledged millions to protect synagogues and mosques in light of rising attacks on those places of worship. But if churches are also being targeted, why does that feel like it's just something that we're meant to absorb? And what's interesting is at the same time, we're being told that people, especially younger people, are actually becoming more interested in faith. I mean, Bible sales are up, Christian music is growing. I mean, the BBC even launched a chart for it last month. There is a definite return happening, a growing need to find guidance and spiritualism and something to ground you in your life. And it's not necessarily traditional. I mean, sometimes it's a bit church, we make it candles and incense and also just a little hint of paganism, but it is there. People are reaching for something that makes them feel rooted, and that's why it makes the second story feel strange. Because at the exact same moment that people are looking for depth, we're also doing this. The Lord's Prayer has been translated into Gen Z slang.
Not today, Satan.
By Breeze Translates, a translation service designed to be used in our churches for our rapidly growing multilinguistic country to make church services more accessible. And they've decided that Gen Z are a whole new language that needs translating. So, I'm going to read it to you because I just feel like we should go through this together. Our realist father, living in peak reality, your name is goated, your kingdom pull up, secure the bag for our daily needs, and don't let us get caught in the ops traps. Sorry. I just think if you say that out loud in the church, something shifts cosmically. Like, I'm not saying that anything dramatic happens, but I do feel like somewhere Satan has just started dabbing, just briefly, just like a little cool. We've loosened the tone here because deliver us from evil becoming don't let's get caught in the ops traps. I'm sorry, the ops? This isn't a translation, this is a hostage situation. Also, our realist father? What happened to just father? Why does he sound like he's going to drop a podcast on crypto? I mean, do you think I could get Nigel Farage to say that on Cameo?
Wishing you a big chungus congratulations for being the top G skibbity alpha male.
And look, I understand the intention. I mean, it's about accessibility. It's about making faith feel relatable. It's kind of designed to meet people where they are. But this instinct feels very boomer with a TikTok account and a dream. And I say that with love. I really do. I just think that we've slightly miss the point. Because Gen Z aren't stupid. Not everything is to be dumbed down.
How do you do, fellow kids?
They're not sitting there going, oh, I believe in God, if only he sounded like my group chat. If anything, it's the opposite. People aren't going back to faith because it's been made casual. They're going back because everything already is. Because on one side, people are clearly searching for something deeper. You can see it in the rise in Bible sales and Christian music having its moment in the kind of romantic size, but also messy return to ritual and meaning. People are reaching for something that feels rooted. And then on the other side, we seem to meet that instinct with either neglect or irony. Churches being chipped away at like they're just buildings, and sacred language being flattened into something that sounds like it belongs in a group chat. And I don't think either of those responses quite match the moment that we're in. Because if people were truly indifferent to faith, none of this would be happening. There wouldn't be a return. So I don't think the problem is that people don't care anymore. If anything, it's actually starting to look like they do. I think the problem is that we've forgotten how to treat the things that actually matter. So we either bring them down to our level or our perceived level, or we stop protecting them altogether. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, we lose the sense that they were ever sacred to begin with. And maybe this is just what cultural change looks like. Maybe this really is how things evolve. But it does make me wonder, if at the exact same point that people are clearly craving something deeper, we keep making everything lighter, more casual, more ironic, more jokey, what happens to the things that were meant to always feel a little bit above us? Because I don't think a society collapses because people stop believing in things. I think it starts to feel a bit lost when it forgets how to take them seriously. But as always, let me know what you think below. Let me know what you thought about that Gen Z Lord's Prayer. Maybe that is how we get people back into church again, is with that prayer. But as always, let me know what you think, and do think about giving me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you again real soon.